Salve discipuli. I hope you guys are enjoying your 3-day weekend. So now it's time for some Latin homework. Stage 8 grammar worksheet number 2. So for the first part, I want you to fill out this chart with nominative plurals and singulars, accusative plurals and singulars, and ablative singulars. We haven't done ablative plurals for the first declension, second declension, and third declension. First declension, remember, these are typically feminine words. Second declension are typically masculine words. And third declension can be either feminine or masculine. Nominative, first declension, singular. Ah. Nominative, first declension, accusative. And nominative, first declension, ablative. Ah. These are all singulars, and they all have an A because they're all first declension. Nominative first declension plural, I, and nominative first declension, accusative first declension plural, as. Okay, so has the AM, as has the S. That's a key point for knowing your accusative singulars versus plurals. Okay, now the second declension, singular nominative, us or are. So we have words like caecilios that end in US, and we have words like puer, which end in R, which means boy, and that's second declension, singular, nominative. All right, so for accusative, we have and an ablative, o. So in horto is an example of a second declension, singular ablative word. All right, now we have our nominative second declension plurals, e, accusative second declension plural, os. So we see a trend here between the accusative plurals in the first declension and the accusative plurals in the second declension. They have different first letters, but they both end in S. And a key way of remembering the difference between the two is that first declension have A's. So the one with the as is going to be first declension. All right, let's move on to third declension. As we know, the nominative singulars in the third declension, they vary wide. They can be many different things. They could be canis, dog, or leo, lion. But accusative singulars in the third declension are going to end in M. Ablative is going to end in A. Nominative third declension plurals are going to end in ace. And tricky, the accusative third declension plurals are also going to be ace. So you might be wondering to yourself, how do I tell the difference between the two? It's going to be contextual, and we've been practicing that in class. Okay, I want you to take a few seconds and think about A, B, and C in this part that are describing the functions and the purposes of the different cases we have. So the nominative case can show us that a word is the subject. Of course, it's the subject is the one doing the action of the verb in the sentence. But the nominative case can also be a complement. So remember the term complementary nominative. That's like in the sentence, caecilius est laetus. Caecilius and laetus are both in the nominative case, but laetus is complementing caecilius. So now we have the accusative case, and that can show us that the word is the direct object. So direct object is the word that is receiving the action of the verb. Accusative case can also show us the object of a preposition. We use accusatives with the preposition ad, which means to. So to the house, to the forum, ad forum. And our ablative case can show us that a word is also an object of a preposition. So we use a or x, in. Many of the prepositions we've learned so far have used the ablative. Okay, so now we're on to part 3, and for this section, I want you to take a moment to translate the sentences and then parse the underlined nouns. So what I mean by parsing the underlined nouns is that I want you to tell me what case the underlined noun is and if it's singular or plural. And then after that, I want you to tell me what its function is. Is it the subject? Is it the complement? Is it the direct object, or is it an object of preposition? And use the case that you select to really help you choose the function. All right, so pause the video for a moment and translate and parse. Okay, so your first sentence was Leo triste sanguinem impere habuit. My translation that I got was the sad lion, so Leo tristis, had habuit, blood, sanguinem, on the foot, in pede. So Leo, the parsing has been done for you already. So Leo is our nominative. It's a singular nominative, and it's the subject of the sentence. So the lion is the one whose blood is on the foot. So the lion is our subject. The sentence is about the lion. The second word that's been underlined in the sentence is sanguinem. We see the em ending. And the em indicates to us that it's a third declension, singular accusative. So we can put accusative here, singular here, and since it's accusative, we know that its purpose is a direct object. Okay, so here is the second one, so I want you to take a moment to pause, translate, and parse canes and arena. Okay, now that you've taken a moment to pause, let's translate. So, hi canes quod erant ignavi in arena saipe recambebant. These dogs, hi canes, he is the plural of hic. So instead of hic is this, so here is translated to these. So hi canes, these dogs, quod erant ignavi, because they were cowardly. And notice that ignavi is plural just as canes is. So because these dogs, because they were cowardly, in the arena, they were often saipe recambebant. They were often reclining in the arena. So canes is plural, as I said, and it is the subject of the sentence. So the dogs are the subject, so they're the nominative of the sentence. The nominative, plural, subject. Arena, notice the macron over the A, and it's paired with the preposition in, and it's telling us where these dogs are reclining. So therefore, arena is the ablative case, singular, one arena, and it's the object of a preposition. The preposition is in. All right, next one. Take a moment to translate and then parse. Okay, so now that you've had some time to translate, let's go through the translation. The boys were living in a home near Pompeii. So in via, in a home, so in via, prope, near, Popeos, Pompeii, pueri, boys, and then habitabant, were living. Remember, in Latin, the words don't necessarily have to be in the same order that we translate them into. That's why we have cases, to indicate to us what the subject is, what the direct object is, and then we have our verb endings to tell us what the verbs are. So they don't have to be in the same order every time, just like in English. So it's okay that the words are out of order, but we translate it as the boys were living in a home near Pompeii. So Popeos is accusative, and we have the os endings, therefore it's plural. And remember, accusatives are the direct objects. Pueri is the nominative because the boys are the subject of the sentence. We're told where the boys were living. So the whole sentence is about these boys. And since it's boys, it's plural, and the boys are the subject of the sentence. Now I want you to take a second to look at the ending of the verb. Bont. Bont. Well, what tense is that? Ba, remember tripod, the imperfect sheep? Yes, it's the imperfect tense. All right, so here's number 4. Pause the video and translate duas portas en ampitheatro video, and then parse portas en ampitheatro. Okay, so now that you've paused it, let's go through it. Duas portas. They look like they have the same ending, so they probably go together. And remember our os ending? Os is the plural accusative, so we know this is the direct object. So we're going to hang on and wait to translate that. In ampitheatro, all right, so I see an in plus an o ending, so that tells me that this is a sentence with an ablative plus a preposition. So this is telling me a location. So I need to find my subject and verb to start me out. Well, here's my verb. I see video. And the O ending, remember O-S-T, mus, tis, enti, O is telling me my subject as well. It's telling me that I am doing the verb. So we're going to translate this as I see 2 doors in the amphitheater. Okay, and then let's parse portas. Portas is accusative, like I said, and plural. So therefore, it's our direct object. All right, and now we have ampitheatro, and that is, since it's paired with in and has the ending of an O, it's our second declension singular ablative ending. Singular, and it's an object of a preposition. All right, so let's try number 5. Pause the video, translate, and then parse nuntius and fabulam. Right, so now let's translate Nerat nuntius hanc fabulam de magna silva. My translation, I got, the messenger, nuntius, tells Nerat this story, hanc fabulam. Hanc is the accusative singular feminine of hic, haec, hoc, and de from Magna Silva, the great forest. So the messenger tells this story from the great forest. For the words we had to parse, we have nuntius. Nuntius means the messenger, and this is the subject of the sentence, so therefore it's the nominative. So this whole sentence is about the messenger. One messenger, nuntius, so it's second declension singular nominative, and it's the subject, like I said. Fabulam, as you know from Friday Fabula, means story, and the ending is accusative, matching hanc, which is the accusative feminine singular of hic, haec, hoc. It's singular, one story that's being told, and it is a direct object. Last one, Yuge. Take a minute to translate Rhetarius erat gladiator ferax. We're on the home stretch now, so let's translate number 6. So Rhetarius erat, Rhetarius was a gladiator ferax, a fierce gladiator. So gladiator here has been underlined, so we'll do our last parsing of the day. It's our nominative. But how can that be? Isn't Rhetarius the subject? That's because erat here is our linking verb. And gladiator is also in the nominative case. But it's not the subject. Rhetarius is the subject. But gladiator is the complementary nominative that complements Rhetarius. It helps describe the subject. So Rhetarius erat gladiator ferax, Rhetarius was a fierce gladiator. And since gladiator is in the nominative case, ferax is also in the nominative case because ferax is paired with gladiator. They're married. Singular and complement, like I just explained.